Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm also good. Happy Christmas.
Thank you.
How was your Christmas celebration?
Oh, it was nice. This year it was very different. Of course, because of COVID, we had to change our plans a little bit, which was fine. Um,
Okay.
so this year I just went to my parents' home. It was just my parents and my siblings and myself, and my dog. And we just had a big breakfast for Christmas and then exchanged gifts and watched Christmas movies. And that was it. It was very relaxed, very simple this year, but it was
Okay.
nice. It was very cold. I'm not sure what the weather is like where you are, but for us on Christmas, it was like -8 degrees.
Oh God.
Yeah, it was so cold. But today it's actually really nice. It's like 15 degrees outside. So actually, once I finish my work today, I'm going to take half a day off so I can go to the park with my dog and enjoy the warm weather because it's been so cold lately. So
Okay.
yeah.
It's
And
great.
yeah, do you do anything during this time to celebrate? So I know in some parts of the world they maybe don't celebrate Christmas, but they do something similar, or they have a bigger celebration for New Year's. What's it like for you?
In my area, I'm living in a countryside, so church is not there. Christmas, and to celebrate Christmas, Christian people are not there. So in my area, people celebrate New Year on
Okay.
a very big level.
Really? So what are the ways to celebrate? What are the traditions for celebrating New Year's?
Just party, dancing,
Mhm. Okay.
clapping, cheering,
Oh,
like this.
nice.
Last year, I had gone to attend a party to another city. It's a means metro city kind of, not too big city, but much better than my place. But this year, no parties, nothing due to pandemic.
Yeah, I know a lot of countries have prohibited the parties this year or the get-togethers. In Ecuador, where I used to live, where my husband's in Ecuador right now, they prohibited all of the typical traditional New Year celebrations. And
Okay.
I think in a few other countries, I've spoken to some other students as well, where they have a curfew and they're not allowed to do anything for New Year's.
Same thing everywhere.
Yeah, here in the US, there's really not, at least where I am, there's not any restrictions, but I'm in the state that has the highest number of cases. So if that
Okay.
kind of tells you, there's not many rules here. That's why our numbers are so high. But
Okay.
I won't do anything this year. I actually will just work. So be an adult and work and not have fun.
Yes, yes. Sometimes it's better.
It is, I guess. You said you live in the countryside, so you're in
Yes.
a rural part. Is this where
Yes.
you grew up?
Yes.
Okay. And how
Born
many?
and brought
Oh,
up.
okay. What's the population there?
40,000.
40,000. Okay. So I'm also in like the countryside, I guess you would call it. I'm back in my hometown now, and it's about 6,000, 7,000 people.
Oh,
So it's
it's so small.
yeah, it's very rural. I don't really like it so much. I guess there's pros and cons. But I'm having to adjust being back here after living. When I lived in Ecuador, I lived in the biggest city, which was nice. So, do you like being in the countryside, or do you prefer being?
Both the things are there, pros and cons,
Yeah.
like you said. Because I do not get stuff what I want, even clothes. I wanted a ring light, I couldn't get it at my district place as well. I tried a lot, and I bought it from Delhi. One of my friend is there, and then she sent for me because on Amazon sometime it's not means goods are not proper when they travel to us. Sometimes it damaged, sometimes something happened, because when my friend ordered it for Amazon it was not working. So she said, okay, I'll send you. For my clothes also I have to travel
Yeah.
for so many things, so I have to go out, so it's difficult. Then another thing, I wanted a good camera for webcam for my laptop since many days, but even at my district place, I was unable. But
Oh
somehow I
no.
managed.
Wow. Well, the quality, did you get one? Because your quality looks really good, your camera quality. Your pictures
Today
look
only I
good.
got this new camera, new
Okay.
webcam.
Okay. Oh, well, it's very clear. It works very
Last time
nicely.
it was it was like blackish.
Ah, okay. Mine, I just use the webcam on my, like, it's on my laptop. I'm not sure how the quality is.
Quality is so nice. It's so
Okay.
clear.
Because I worry about it. I think part of it is because of my internet connection as well. Now that I'm in the US, when I was in
Okay.
Ecuador, my picture probably didn't look as clear because of my connection.
Connection.
But okay, so how long? So if you want to go shopping, for like clothes shopping or get something that you can't in your town or your city, how far do you have to go to get to a city where you
Uh,
can get that?
I think near about it's 175 kilometers because I do not get clothes which I use in my district place as well. Sometimes
Oh,
you may know about Mumbai, Delhi, when I travel regarding some work, I do
yeah.
shopping as well. Or a city is there on 175 kilometers, I have to go. Therefore,
Wow.
purchasing.
Okay. You drive there or do you pick
Yeah,
it
sometimes.
up? Okay. Yeah, I guess when I was in Ecuador, I mean, I lived in the biggest city, so it was pretty easy to get whatever I needed.
Yes.
Sometimes it would be a little more complicated, but I didn't have a car, so I would just have to take a bus or a taxi. But now where I live, I mean, there's nothing in my hometown. There's no shopping center. There's no big supermarket. We don't have Starbucks or anything. So if I want to go and do those things, I need to go to the next city over. Especially if I want to go shopping for clothes, maybe I need to go 20, not as far as you, 20 or 30 minutes it takes me, which isn't
Okay.
that far. It's less convenient being in a small city. So,
My one another problem is on weekends. I cannot go out. I cannot hang out with friends and all that. So I have to stay at home only.
yeah.
No movies, theater, cinema, nothing.
So there's nothing to do in your free time.
No.
Yeah, same here. Today I'm going to a park, but the park I'm going to is like 45 minutes. So it's in another city. So I have to travel a little bit. I can't just
Uh,
walk to a park in my hometown, unfortunately. So I understand how that feels. Are your friends, do they live in the same town as you, or do your friends live in a different city?
different cities because in my town, environment is like after 6 o'clock, female will not go out, and so many restrictions. You may have an idea about Indian culture, how conservative is it?
Yeah. I've read some really interesting articles on it, and I know it's different in some, depending on what area you're in. But maybe I don't know if we discussed this already a little bit.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah,
Last time we discussed.
yeah. But I have read, yes, that it's not so safe maybe for women to go out after dark or out after a certain time, especially alone.
Instead of safe or not safe, means people's mind is like that. Yeah, she's female. She should not go out in the evening, and it's a mentality of
Oh,
our family members as well. Only because of we are female.
okay. So they don't link that or connect that to safety. It's more of just because you're a female, because of your gender.
Yes.
Wow, very interesting. Okay.
But female are like they have changed themselves, or now their mentality became like this. We are female and we should not go out or we should not do this. But the girls who move to another city for study, they are very free frank and they do whatever they want to do. But when they will come back to our town, they'll behave like these people only.
Okay. So depending on the area, I see. So maybe if you go to a bigger city where the university is, you kind of
Yeah.
relax on your the restrictions. But then when you're in your
Yes.
hometown, okay, I'll stay home after 6 p.m.
It's like a social obligation.
Okay.
Social obligation. that girls should not do this or that, and if we do, we are bad girls.
Really? That's very, do you see this changing anytime in the future, or do you think that this is something that will be guarded as a part of the
Uh,
culture,
in
preserved?
cities, it's changing, but in small towns, it may take next 10 or 20 years.
Yeah, I know because small towns are definitely more traditional, and typically in small towns, the same families kind of stay there and live there, and then their children live there, right? Um,
Yes.
so interesting. And what happens if females decide, if they're in a small town and they get caught? I mean, they're labeled as bad, but are there any consequences or punishment if they do decide to go out after a certain time?
It's like some social obligation, and people will not think this family is good, or that girl or that lady of this family is going out means. Eventually, they will blame whole family, not only that lady, but whole family. So it's a question of status of that family.
Okay, so really the behavior defines the whole family. Um, so that's a lot
Yes.
of pressure. So I feel like, of course, the female wants to keep a good name for her family, so she'll.
Yes,
Um,
it's like a prestige of that family in hands of that lady.
okay.
Male, they can do whatever they want because they are male. They have a right to make mistakes.
Ugh, that statement, it makes my skin burn. I know it's very different in cultures, and so
When I had started my school a
mhm,
few years back, I'm a Muslim girl,
mhm.
so it was a big taboo in my town that you may have an idea that we Muslims wear that hijab, we
Uh-huh.
cover our face and all that, but I didn't do it.
Mhm.
Since beginning, I was against of it because since my childhood, I had that mentality. I want to do something in my life
Yeah.
because I have seen behavior of my father with my mother, then my uncles and my maternal uncles and everyone. It was not so good. Means they provide each and everything, but without their permission, they cannot go out. They cannot purchase anything financially and everything. They are depend on males. So I don't know why, but I hated it so much
Mhm.
since my childhood. So I had that in my mind, and I started working and all those things. So it was a big taboo. People were saying so many things and all that. But now everyone is like, "Oh, she's my relative. She's this and this." Means everyone want to show some kind of relation with me.
So it's so interesting how that works out, right? At first, they look maybe down upon you, and then
Yes,
once you achieve a status, then they respect you. Um,
yes,
well, that's amazing. I mean, for you that you kept pushing through despite, how maybe you were raised or the influence of the culture that you had as a child, and decided I want to do something and did
but
it.
in but in the beginning, with me, my parents also had to face a lot.
Hmm. Yeah. You mentioned as a part of the culture, so women, so I guess men control the finances in the home. Women, do they have to ask permission if they want to make purchases or invest
Yes,
in?
particular culture, it's
Okay.
on a large amount. The lady who are working, they are like government jobs and they are doing something their own. It's not like that. In metro city scenarios, little bit different, but in hometown, yes, it is.
Okay. And this might be a silly question, but is the Muslim religion common in India?
No,
I didn't think
mixed.
so.
No,
Okay. And so
all religions are mixed.
are mixed. Okay. And so yeah, I don't know enough about the religions in India. I know I read a lot of articles about the culture in India, but I don't know enough about the religion. So does your family, do the women, aside from you, still wear the hijabs and things like that?
Except to me, everyone wears in my
Ah,
family.
you're the only one that doesn't?
Yes.
Wow, that's really
I'm
nice.
I'm a rebel.
But in a good way, I think. Um,
Yes.
I think,
That's why my family support me.
yeah. I was gonna say
In the
maybe
beginning they weren't, but now they support me.
I think because they see where it took you, probably your success and your happiness as well. I would say less of a rebel, maybe not a rebel, but ambitious. You're an ambitious woman.
I'm ambitious, but in the beginning they were like, she's abnormal. She do not listen to the parents. She do exact opposite what we say. So many things were there.
But sometimes it's necessary to
Yes,
break that tradition and in order to, live the life that we
yes,
want and be successful and have the career that you want as well. So,
yes.
well, I think that you are an inspirational person, probably a role model for many people as well. Many women, I think, because I'm
Mhm.
sure many women, they look up to you, and maybe women have wanted to do the same thing that you did, but um, they were too scared, or they just never
That's the
did.
problem.
Yeah.
Their families do not support them, and they do not have enough courage to do the things what they want.
Hmm.
It's again, and most of the time, girls they want to study, but parents do not allow, and they just want them to get married. So, in my culture, it happens a lot of time.
So sometimes they won't even go study; they'll just marry instead.
The scenario is changing
Yeah.
nowadays. Scenario is changing, but
Mhm.
in Orthodox families, it happens. Mm,
Wow. What
still
happens? I also don't know marriages. Are marriages arranged still in some parts?
arranged, arranged.
Okay. So that kind of puts the obligation on the daughter, because
Yes,
it's
yes.
arranged, so she doesn't have a say. And are you allowed to refuse an arranged marriage, or
99% of the time, girls have to tie knot with arranged marriages only because they do not allow to choose partner. But 1% girls who do not listen to the parents but they have to struggle a lot. They have to go under so many circumstances and so many problems, and eventually they could succeed. But in metro cities, nowadays people are living in like live-in relationship kind of things, and they are free in metro cities only, like Mumbai, Delhi,
mm-hmm.
Bangalore kind of cities. But
Okay,
in small cities and small town, no way.
still very traditional? Yeah.
Yes,
That's how it is in Ecuador as well. Ecuador, the bigger cities are definitely more progressive in certain issues, or certain situations, but the very small rural towns are very, very traditional. Some girls also don't go study; they must work with their family in the family business, and some marriages are also, maybe I wouldn't say so much arranged, but more like pushed on, like, oh, I know this person, let's get you together, and it would be great if you got married. So what's the typical age? So if a family arranges a marriage for their daughter, is it 18? Instead of studying, she'll marry, or is there an average age for that?
nowadays it's 18, at
Okay.
least 18.
Okay.
Below 18, rare cases are there. But
Mhm.
in India, I heard that in Rajasthan and some other cities, still they get married, girls, I think 10, 12, 13, 14, like this.
Oh wow. I've read about that, but I don't think it was in India. I think it was in another country that I read about. We call them child brides, is the term we use in the U.S. At a
Yes.
young age, because in the U.S. technically 18 is the legal age, like a legal adult. I'm not sure what it is in other countries, but I've read a little bit of some articles. But I think it was in another country, not in India. I didn't realize it still happened in India as
No,
well.
it's India, but state is different. I heard that when a girl sorry, a girl get take birth, that time only they decide about their marriage.
Oh wow. Interesting. And I don't know. I don't have a lot of students from India. I think maybe I told you this before. So I don't know. I read what I can, but other countries, I'm used to working with students from Japan and Turkey and Brazil. So I've learned so much by talking to them about, their traditions and their culture. So a lot of this is new to me, getting to speak with someone.
Yeah, there is a tradition. Each and everyone should get married in their life. It's not like yeah, it's their own personal choice. I heard that in America, in London, it's not mandatory to get married, but India,
Right.
it is.
Okay. Yeah, that's very cultural difference. In the US, it is. It's very much a personal choice. And maybe sometimes it's changing. In the past, if someone wasn't married by a certain age, maybe some people would say, when are you going to get married? Or friends would always be trying to set them up with someone, like, oh, I have this friend who's also single. It's changing some now. It's becoming more acceptable to never get married and stay single, until you're 30 or 40 or even 50. So it's definitely a personal choice. It's progressed
Uh,
a lot.
Sometime I watch video of Oprah Winfrey. I think she's also not married, means.
Yeah, I think she's single still. I love
Yes.
Oprah.
I watch her videos because I like her opinions, the way she talk, and she's a strong woman.
Yeah, yeah. She's a really amazing person. I don't
Yes,
even know. She's had a show on television for many years now. I don't even know how
yes,
long she's
yes.
had.
She's an ideal person for me.
Yeah, I like Oprah, definitely. And so when a girl gets married or a woman gets married, typically once she's married, if you said they don't go to school in some places. So does that mean they don't work either? Traditional marriages like this, are the wives expected to stay in the home?
Before it was like going in a particular Muslim culture, not in other cultures. Seven standard, eight standard, but now girls are studying at least their junior college, means 12th grade, or at least their graduation. But working, it's rare.
Okay.
Sometimes people, sometimes parents allowed, sometimes not. If they get government job, then the parents and their in-laws both are happy. But private job, it's not. If suppose their financial condition is not so good, then only a few women do something for their families. Otherwise, no.
Okay. Wow. So I feel like that's a cycle that puts a lot of pressure on the husband to financially provide, right, for the family.
Yeah.
And
But
you
nowadays, sometimes if so in cities, if husband is not able to fulfill their family's need, female also work, but in cities, not in my
oh,
town.
okay. Not in the smaller cities.
And in poor families or the family which are middle, sorry, lower status, like
Hmm.
below poverty line, they have to work in a farm or some household works kind of things, or that kind of, they do the work, sorry, that kind of work, and they support their families.
Okay. And you said typically, so it's not really a personal choice to get married. It's kind of necessary to get married at some point in your life. Is it the same for having children as well?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Really? Wow. And more than one child, is that common? Or as long as you have one child, that's fine? Or are you expected to have?
One or two, because government has banned more than two. When that time, every married couple had four, three, five, six kids, but nowadays, not more than two.
Why has the government banned more than two?
Because of Indian population.
Ah,
It's a,
you
it's
have a
a
large population.
second biggest large country in population.
Okay. I knew that you had a really big population in India, but I didn't realize that there was a ban on the number of children you could have.
It's since long time.
Okay. Wow. I'm
Uh,
learning so many new
government,
things.
government employees and politicians, they do not allow more than two kids. If they have, they are not eligible for government job or for political post as well.
Okay. So it happens where sometimes someone will have 3 or 4 children, but the third or fourth child doesn't have as many benefits.
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. Um, Let me ask you this. It's okay if you don't feel comfortable. Really?
Because of dowry system. In some region, in some religion, if girl is getting married, her parents have to give a lot of money to the groom's parent, and dowry. It's like a sometime 10 lakh, 20 lakh, 25 lakhs kind of amounts.
Okay.
So
Has that changed, or is it still like this? The dowry?
government has banned it, but people are still doing it because nobody knows how much money a girl's parents has given to groom's parents. So it's still going on.
So it's always the bride's parents, the female's parents' responsibility to pay the groom, not vice
Yes,
versa.
it's demand that we will get married to your girl. You'll have to give us 10 lakhs dowry, 15 lakhs. And if boy is groom is government employee, then it will go up.
Really, because they know that
And
she has a
if
higher
suppose
status.
they have farm as well as government job, then he is in a demand.
Wow, very interesting. Huh. I know we're almost out of time. I want to keep chatting because this is such an interesting conversation. I probably learned more than you have in this conversation. But I know we're almost out of time, and I'll send you a
Yes,
message because I know today you wanted to chat and me kind of listen and give you feedback and let you know if
yes,
there's
yes,
anything. I have another class, so give me like
yes.
30, 45 minutes, and then I'll send you a message, okay?
Okay, okay. Thank you
So
very
nice
much.
chatting with you. See
Okay,
you
bye.
in 2 days. Bye.
Bye.